Thank you both for taking time out of your Monday morning to speak with me. It's very much appreciated.
Oh, thank you.
I guess we should start with the fact that Val is screening at Grimfest in the UK very soon. How are you guys feeling about unleashing this film onto the British public?
It is very.
I couldn't be happier.
It is so bizarre living with your baby for so long and then just saying goodbye, so to speak, and just giving it to the world. But it's very exciting.
And I think, Misha, technically you've got 2 films screening.
I do. I've heard that. I didn't know that was true until recently when I heard that through the grapevine. One, I have a far more prominent part. The other one, I feel I'm in for a minute, maybe tops, a couple minutes. Don't blink, you'll miss me. But yeah, I'm all up in your festival, so you're welcome, I guess. Yay!
I mean, I guess for those that haven't had the chance to sort of read up on Val yet, without too many spoilers, what's the film about?
It is about a criminal on the run who breaks into the home of a high-class escort, only to find out that she is not who she says she is.
I mean, where did the idea come from?
So it just came about originally when Vic and I were Victoria Fratz is my co-writer / fiance / producer. We were trying to come up with an idea for a movie of, something that we can shoot pretty much on a budget with the most talented friends that we know. And Misha is one of those talented friends, and Zachary Morin is another talented friend. And, we were trying to come up with an idea of just a small cast, really one location. And I pitched the idea to Victoria of a criminal breaking into this woman's home. And because we both are big fans of, Sam Raimi and Tim Burton, we wanted to add this supernatural twist to it. And we had also been making a couple of short horror films, so we were very much entering this, horror space. And, I know that's sort of like the more practical answer, but that is definitely how it came about. Yeah.
I mean, what was it, for you when you sat down and read the script? What was it about Val that made you, want to play her?
Oh, she's just this ballsy broad that's a little bit of Gloria Swanson, a little Mae West, a little Marilyn Monroe, definitely some Evil Dead with a little bit of David Lynch and Jacques Rivette absurdism. And who wouldn't want to play that? It's the most fun group of people thrown in a blender. And I just had an absolute blast living in Val's world. And it was almost a shame to come out of that underpants wearing life and to have to, put my pants back on and have to be this person every day again. I like to think there's a little bit of Val in me every day, but she's a go-getter. She gets what she wants all the time.
Yeah. I was going to say, talking about costumes, there's so many. I think the film's set sort of like over one day, and yet she has so many costume changes. Each sort of more decadent than the last. I mean, which, if you had to pick a favorite child, which one was your favorite to wear?
Oh my good. So, 2 of my robes were from Catherine Delish. And I think I have this burgundy, feathery monstrosity that I lived in, not even just on camera. I would snuggle up in it when we weren't shooting because it was so comfortable. And it really made me feel like a completely different person walking down the stairs with this train behind me, like a glorious big bird. It really, I would wear it every single day if it wouldn't get caught in every single door I walked through, honestly.
I mean, I think there's a nice little sort of nod to Beetlejuice in one of the costumes as well. I think that's probably the one that stands out to me.
Yes.
There was certainly a lot of influence of or inspiration from Beetlejuice. I was just saying to somebody else that I sort of had a code word with our DP, Keelan Carruthers, where we would be entering Beetlejuice mode. And there were basically just two modes of the film, normal mode and Beetlejuice mode, and that would refer to sort of like the lighting and the style of everything.
I think
Oh yeah, not to toot my own horn, but I made my wedding dress in that scene. Had to throw that together, and that was fun because I used to build all of my Halloween costumes back in the day, and they were like, "We want this looking wedding dress," and I said, "Sure." And that was fun to put together. It was a fumpy guy. You could have hidden the entire crew under there, and we did.
I mean, I guess the role of Val as well. She's very chatty. I guess that means a lot of monologues for you as an actor. How did you approach that from an actor side, but then also as a director side, to make sure that the film doesn't sort of stagnate with the fact that there is a lot of talking.
Well, I thank goodness for all of my years of being trained as an actor, actually, some of which were at London Academy of Music and Dramatic Art. So shout out to y'all. But whenever it felt like maybe it was getting too wordy, Aaron had a great eye for adding a little bit of levity to scenes where he thought we're getting a little bit too heady, or this moment, maybe we are talking too much. He was very good about throwing in a moment here where there would be a little joke, or there would be a little something like a Zachary Morin bum scene where I won't give too much away, but look for that. But he was very good about making sure everything was evened out, where you had just as much of me yammering on and having these lofty moments of just talking, and then having these other sight gags. So I think he did a very good job of that.
The bum scene. That was
the bum scene.
That was a funny unscripted moment where we actually, we were watching dailies and we're watching Misha give this long monologue outside, and it's very serious, not all that funny. And after watching it, I believe it was Zach who even came up with this idea. What if I just stand up and you see my butt? And I thought he was, or he thought he was joking when he said that. And I actually took that very seriously. And I was like, actually, I think that's a really good idea. And I actually, the very next night, had us set up all the lights again outside. And we just shot this little, nice little button to that scene. And I think it just sort of, lent itself to this interesting dramatic and comedic balance that we try to maintain throughout the movie.
Never joke about any idea unless you want Aaron to follow through.
I mean, I think it's nice. It is nice to see, because I guess there's not really that many films where I guess female characters are given so much to say. So it must have been nice to finally be able to have a role where you actually have a voice, have the voice of the film.
Oh, it felt great. And to be able to talk and not talk about a love interest or talk about a man. Oh, it was fantastic. So thank you, Aaron. I appreciate that. I got to actually be a human and not a prop. Appreciate that.
I mean, I guess, Aaron, was that important, for you guys to make sure that, this wasn't sort of like your quote unquote, normal film?
Our goal when writing this was to certainly make a film that nobody could predict. It's challenging, but every scene we would always ask ourselves first, what's the most obvious choice that we could make, and we would actively try to do the complete opposite of that. And that would also, we would do that sort of with every line of dialogue as well. And we're super honest with ourselves. We'll read it back and ask ourselves, could we do better, or would anybody see this coming? And the people that have watched the movie so far said one thing I will say about this film is I had no idea where it was going, and that is certainly the intention.
I think it does definitely pay off in that way. You know, you see it at the beginning, and you know, you even read the synopsis and you sort of think, okay, you know, home invasion, I think I know where this is going to go, a man in a woman's house. But I do think it's nice how you guys sort of subvert and change those expectations. So that's been, you know, nice to know that you've given something new to the world rather than just another cookie cutter film.
Well, thank you. No, that's good to hear.
And I guess, you know, when, you know, was this filmed pre-pandemic, during pandemic? It's all obviously, you know, I know everything sort of got stuck in the pipeline. So where does this one sit?
It's funny because we actually wrapped days before our quarantine happened here on March 11th. And it was interesting because we were all staying in the same mansion together and just spending so much time paying attention to the film that I know for me, I wasn't paying enough attention to how COVID had hit the States at the time. And I didn't even know how serious it had gotten until I got a call from another one of my managers saying, South by Southwest is canceled. We won't be working that. And I thought, can you imagine what in the world would have that canceled? And the minute that we wrapped, March 11th, I remember getting in my car, calling my husband, letting him know I was on my way home. And he was like, cool, here's the thing. Some serious stuff is happening. You need to get home now. Very happy you had a good time. Hope you're getting used to the idea of being in one house. And sure enough, we were quarantined all over again.
I guess obviously that must have presented, you know, some challenges in the, you know, in the post-production. You know, luckily you got the production done, but then obviously comes the post, and you guys are all having to work remotely for it.
Well, it was really impeccable timing that we managed to wrap a couple of days before the pandemic, and you know, for us, the only thing that it actually affected was that we didn't get to celebrate as a casting crew and have a wrap party. I was already planning on editing the film for, you know, 4 months or so after we wrapped. So literally the day of the lockdown, I began editing. And fortunately for me and my mental health, I was able to just, you know, sink my teeth and attention into editing this movie. And then by the time actual, you know, like color and sound mixing and scoring began, that wasn't until, you know, sort of towards the end of 2020. And by then it was a lot easier to, you know, sort of do things virtually and remotely. So everything did sort of work out in a mysterious way for this film.
I guess, you know, you've obviously been busy, you know, making Val, but have you guys had a chance to sort of think where you're going to go next, what projects you're going to be working on?
So my writing partner and producer and fiance Victoria Fratz and I, we have a YouTube channel where we make short horror films. And we've been working on a lot of short horror films. We are definitely going to be making another feature, probably over the next year or so. And yeah, that's sort of where we stand at the moment.
At some point, y'all have to actually have a wedding. Maybe you should plan your wedding. Just do your wedding, and then you can do another movie. Am I the only one?
I was going to propose during the pandemic, but then I thought, you know, I should wait for a better time to do this, and so it didn't happen until the following year. But now we do have a wedding planned, and it will happen eventually. Maybe we'll shoot, you know, like a short horror film around our wedding or something.
He never stops working. He doesn't stop.
Well, so where can people see you next?
Oh, where can people see us? Well, I'm currently my company JFI Creep LA here in Hollywood, California. We currently have a show going on called Creep LA. that is running through all of spooky season. You must be vaxxed and you must be masked, but we can promise you the spookiest of times. We're an immersive theater group and we get weird. So that is what I will be doing until spooky season ends.
I guess, sort of like bringing it back to Grimfest for the final question. People are deciding, what they're going to be watching at the festival. Why should they take a chance on Val? What are they going to get from this film that they might not get from some of the other films that are going to be playing?
Val is sexy and it's weird and it's unpredictable. And if you like, again, I said before, if you like Evil Dead that had a baby with David Lynch and Jacques Rivette, I think that you should take a chance on this. And if you like leading ladies, if you would like to see a Gloria Swanson type come out on top, this is going to be the movie for you. So let's get weird.
Certainly. And after a year where we've all sort of been, locked into our homes, I feel like this is definitely a great escape. That was our intention from the beginning, and I feel like it could not have come out at a better time. It definitely brings you to a whole other world. And it's really just a blend of my favorite filmmakers that I just grew up that have inspired me to make movies in the first place.
Well, I wish you guys the best of luck with the US release and with the screening at Grimfest.